Hey guys, this will be the last CP allocation guide video, as this is the last place or slash trial slash 4-man arena I am going to be making this kind of video for. And here at last we have the CP allocation guide for Blackrose Prison Arena Veteran. And this will also be on my website or on my Discord server or in the video description down below, all the CP for each role, and you guys can just kind of skip ahead to that if you don't want to watch the rest of the video and listen to why things are there and why things aren't there. So for the Magicka and Stamina DPS builds that often go in here, and personally I've DPS tanked and healed this place. I've tanked the Unchained, which is the no death speedrun and no sigil run for Blackrose Prison. I can safely say as a DPS compared to a tank, you don't really get hit much compared to the tank. Obviously you still get hit. There's a lot of direct damage, so you'll still have 72 Ironclad, but it's not as much as a tank gets. And personally as a DPS, I find myself getting damaged more or more susceptible to deaths based in elemental damage or magic based damage more than physical ones, except maybe the last arena where the totem's hurling rocks at you. But as a Stam DPS, you can put 14 into medium armor focus. That's pretty much 2% extra mid right there against physical damage, and 16 to spell shield. For the Lady Tree, you have a healthy balance of 56 Hardy and 56 Elemental Defender. You get an even amount of mitigation against both Hardy, both physical damage and magic-based damage, because there are both types of damage are present in Veteran Blackrose Prison. And we have the standard 56 points in thick skin. Honestly, you can drop. I would probably keep it at 56 thick skin for the 20% damage reduction from dots. And there are actually quite a few dots that can take you out, like the archer boss on the second arena. The dot he puts on one person, that can be a tremendous amount of damage depending on how much healing you have going on there, or if you have a healer. And obviously if you're a Magicka DPS, you want to put the 14 from the medium armor focus into the 14 light armor focus. And that's pretty much it. Quick recovery wise, you don't really need it unless, I mean, you really don't, honestly. Most of the things that will kill you as a DPS in Blackrose Prison are either 1 or 2 shots, and aren't really healable. Like if you get the boss light attack on you, that's a huge heal debuff and a bleed, and no amount of quick recovery is gonna save you through it. If you're gonna have to sacrifice points from here. So yeah, definitely you don't really need any into quick recovery at all. No point in the Bastion, even if you're a Magicka DPS. Your shield has resistances as of the Murkmire patch, so it's actually pretty strong, and you don't really need any into battle. It's kind of a waste because just the shield is has a cap limit anyway. And for the green tree, we have a 19% break free cost reduction. There are actually quite a few stuns going out in Blackrose Prison, like the totem on the last boss, the hack wings flying around everywhere, the Hajmota. Yeah, there's a lot, and you want to be prepared for it. And just in case you don't have enough stamina to break free, the 19% break free cost reduction is gonna help you survive. And the 24 into bashing focus, this is going to be for when you need to help the tank bash things. There's a lot of ads at channel, surprisingly, in Black Prison. On the last arena in particular, the tank will need you to help bash. And we got 64 in the Mooncalf. If you are a Stam DPS, you can put the 64 here into Arcanist. If you're a Magicka DPS, same thing. And 43 Tenacity. 51 Tumbling for the 19% dodge roll cost reduction. And there are a few things you may need to dodge roll. And what's fucked up about Veteran Blackrose Prison is at the start of every round, especially on the first arena and the fourth arena, those fire atros can just hit you all at the same time and you just die. It's safer to dodge roll immediately at the start of every round for those kinds of ranged ads, lest they kill you. with the one-shots, pretty much, if they all hit you at the same time. 37 Shadow Ward, and there are things you may need to block as well, like the Hashimoto's Spray, potentially the Troll's Cone on the second arena, and that's pretty much it. The totems for sure in the last arena, it can drain your stam pretty heavily, especially if you've been DPSing the boss, and so on. So that is the Magicka and Stamina DPS CP allocation. For the healer, if you are going to bring a healer in here, which I do recommend, considering the top world score, it was 2 DPS, a healer, and a tank. And there's no, like, especially for new groups or progression groups or inexperienced groups, having a healer is definitely it's a lot more worth than bringing in 3 DPS just to keep wiping and wiping and wiping. In fact, I would argue that having a healer in Olorime and Infallible Aether nets out to much more damage for the group DPS wise, than 3 DPS with no Olorime or IA, which is a minor vulnerability. And that's a lot of damage actually, the more you think about it. So if you are a healer going in, you're pretty much going to have similar DPS CP as the DPS. Or, I'm sorry, it's just similar CP as the DPS. I misspoke. 72 in the Ironclad, 16 in Spell Shield, 14 to Light Armor Focus, 56 Stick, 56 Ellie, 56 Hardy. Remember, you're not really in a trial. You're experiencing the exact same things that the DPS would. Pretty much everything will be focused mostly on the tank, if the tank is prepared and tanking it correctly. So it's going to be the exact same thing for you as it would be for a DPS, damage output wise. And for the green tree, same thing as the DPS. Obviously, this may obviously be dependent on your build, on your stats as well. You could probably get away with less into Tenacity and more into other places, but this is probably what I would run as a healer for an Unchained run, or farm run, or even a progression run. And that's pretty much it for the healer. And lastly, if you are a tank and you're looking to get into Veteran Blackrose Prison, this will be the red and green CP I've used for the Unchained title, the No Death, No Sigil, and Speedrun in here. And it's a very safe CP setup, and this was made for a Dragon Knight tank, so some things might differ if you're like a Warden tank, but I strongly recommend you guys go in with a Dragon Knight tank. It makes the whole play so much easier with your wings reflecting that nasty heal debuff and dot that each boss of every arena puts on you. Your damage mitigation, your healing, receive passives as a Dragon Knight, it's just too good to pass up on. But if you are insistent on going ahead and bringing a non-Dragon Knight tank into Blackrose Prison, go for it, but this is pretty much going to be a similar CP setup you'll use, and this is exactly the CP setup I use for the Unchained title. So 81 to Ironclad, you're taking a shit ton of direct damage, so you're going to have 81 Ironclad, same as a trial. That's how much damage you're taking. 56 Hardy, 56 Ellie, again, a very balanced mitigation approach. Fit 66 thick skin, it's like 2% more than the DPS, but you are the tank, you're getting all these dots on you. And this, the 66 in thick skin is going to help a lot with that nasty dot the bosses put on you. And we have 11 heavy armor focus, because as always, you typically have more spell resistance than a physical resistance, especially as an like a Dragon Knight tank, because you do get more spell resistances from the class passive and Draconic. However, I would also recommend 11 heavy armor focus anyway, even if you're a Nord, because the ads hit really hard, especially the physical damage based ads. 37 Warlord, you don't really need too much in the break free because you are blocking a lot of this stuff and you're going to see it coming very clearly as opposed to certain other places, certain other trials. 16 bashing focus, 23 sprinter to help sustain your stamina a bit if you need to run ahead of the group or run around and stack the ads for the group. I personally prefer a Magicka recovery build, Atro, Magicka recovery, Arcanist. Obviously this will be dependent on what kind of build you want to do, but I really like the 43 Arcanist for 10% magic recovery. 19 Tenacity, I really don't see a need for it for tanks in Blackrose Prison. The stacking is requires you to stack things fast and react very fast. There's not much time for heavy attacking in between the each boss mechanics, unless it's the first boss or even the second boss, but particularly in the 4th arena, it feels like you don't have much time to heavy attack. 51 Tumbling, 19% dodge cost reduction pretty standard, and 81 is Shadow Ward to help with the block cost of blocking pretty much every single thing. And that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, if you did, watching or at least reviewing the CP allocation guides I've put out. And this is the last video for it, unless a new trial comes out. Obviously, I'm looking forward to Veteran Sunspire, the next chapter trial coming out soon with Elsewhere in a few months. And I will release a CP allocation guide then. But until next time, if anything CP related changes, I will update them on my website and on my Discord. I probably will not be making new CP allocation guide videos for the YouTube channel because people already get the idea and people just kind of want to get to the meat of it. They don't really want to watch a video explaining, oh, why this is good and why this is bad. So yeah, I will do all that in the near future. And again, thanks so much for watching. And as always, stay safe and have a great adventure.